All right, I guess we will get started. There's a few other people we know are coming, but they aren't quite here yet, so we'll start with the ones we have. My name is Eric Swartz. This is the 15th Southwest Ohio GiveCamp. So one thing we always like to do is just see who we have volunteers and stuff. So raise your hand, this is your first GiveCamp. Right, thank you. It's not your first, Mike. All right, so how many people have been, let's say, to 3 or more GiveCamps? Or numbers of events, it's harder to do this than it used to. We used to do like the wedding and everybody sit down type of thing, but it's hard to do that now. How have been to 3 or more GiveCamps? All right, that's good. Keep your hands up. All right, keep your hands up into 5 or more. 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Mike, raise your hand.
There's only a couple of you.
All right, so a lot of us here have been here quite a lot, as you've seen. So that's good, because everybody has experience, knows, understands how this weekend works. So it'll help make the projects go more smoothly and quicker. So I got some administrative stuff up front, and then we'll have the nonprofits introduce themselves and the team leads introduce a little bit about the projects they want to accomplish this weekend. And then we'll do some team selection and get some lunch, or take a group picture, get some dinner, and then we'll get started after that working on projects. So, for GiveCamp organization, most of us have the light blue shirts on. The other ones arrived at my house at approximately 5 o'clock, the new ones, because these are pretty old. So we may get them later this evening after I meet my wife to pick them up. But they didn't get here quite in time. So I'm Eric Swartz, Matt Brewer's over there, Jason Roby's over there, Mike Barron's over there. So we're technically the board, but there's a whole bunch of people that have helped this year. So I didn't mention already, Brandon Chen's is over there, Rayleigh Bagley's over there, David DeLella and Chris Andrews were at the table when you checked in. Angie Roby's been running around getting food ready and stuff like that. So I think I covered everybody on the list there. So how we handle GiveCamp for the weekend is we work together with Pay It Forward Cincinnati. That's our 501c3 nonprofit that we run all of our funding and everything and stuff through. So we like to thank them. So that way that's how we can do this event. But the real reason we can do this event is through sponsorship. So we rent the facility, we pay for all the food and that sort of thing. The volunteers donate their time, but we have to thank these sponsors and many of them have been long-time sponsors. Engaged Partners and employee donations have done things. Pinnacle Solutions Group, who's out in Hamilton. Pieces for Developers is buying the dinner tonight. And then Burke has been our sponsors. We also want to thank Miami University. We've been, all except for the COVID year, we've been here at the Miami Voice of America Learning Center. They give us a really good deal and a discount. They don't do many events here anymore. But because we've been here for 15 years and they understand us and we know where things are and know that we'll take care of the place and stuff, they still let us do the event here and give it a good rate. So it's good for us there. I'll leave this next one up for a little bit. If you're not on Teams already, we try to run through Teams. There's a QR code there to scan or stop in the command center room, which is right next to where the 2 nonprofit rooms are, and we can help get you connected with that after the meeting. Teams instructions, there's a 2024 GiveCamp team, and we set up channels for each project. There's a couple people I know that are going to work remotely, and it's also more important because our schedule, which I'll go through next, we don't have the building all weekend like we used to because of security guards and things like that. So we'll end early tomorrow, so to make sure it's important to have things on Teams so people can continue to work from home and stuff like that. So schedule. Registration we already covered. We're here at the kickoff. Right after the kickoff, while we're still in this room, we'll do a team selection for the volunteers that are on teams already. They'll do a picture, then dinner. Then we're going to do development most of the night. A lot of it's going to be requirements gathering and stuff. We'll have a stand-up with the team leads at 9 o'clock to make sure everybody has the skills and stuff they need, and maybe shuffle some people around and stuff like that. We're asking the volunteers to close up and be out of the room by 11:30 tonight, because we have to be out of the building and it has to be locked by midnight. That's when the security has to leave tonight. So then tomorrow morning, we're going to have volunteers who start to come in at 9. We'll be in a little earlier than that, getting breakfast and stuff ready, but volunteers start at 9. Breakfast will be ready between 9 and 9:30, depends on how quick we can cook things. We're going to have pancakes and stuff for breakfast like we had before on Saturday morning. We'll also decide the team lead stand-ups as we go. Like I said, the first one on the schedule for 9, as we've done other years. Most of our team leads have been team leads in the past. We'll talk about it, figure out where things go, and set up a schedule for that and determine what the next one is. So the only team lead stand-up on here is the first one. After that, we'll figure out where we go from there. 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I talked to the nonprofits on the phone about this. We're going to have a nonprofit stand-up because we've learned over the years that we want to make sure the nonprofits, the projects go in the direction that they want to go. We may do another one later on Saturday afternoon, depends on how that one goes Saturday morning type of thing. Otherwise, we'll do one Sunday morning. So same schedule Sunday morning. You guys can come in the building at 9. We'll have breakfast 9:30 in between there. We'll have another nonprofit stand-up around 11. The important thing for everybody, teams and nonprofits, make sure there's training at some point in time on Sunday. It could be training throughout the weekend is great, but make sure you get training and make sure you train your nonprofits. So we'll have lunch around noon. 2 o'clock is closing presentation here in the same room, where tonight is mainly focused on the nonprofits and what their missions are, what the projects are. Closing is focused on the teams and what they accomplished over the weekend type of thing. So they get to show off the work from the weekend. A few rules here. Miami is a tobacco-free campus, meaning no e-cigarettes, no tobacco at all on the entire campus, not just in the building, in the parking lot, area type of thing. That's the rules of us being able to use this facility. Building access will be limited at night. There'll be doors locked. There will be a phone number on. There's a security guard sitting at the front door, so if for some reason you can't, or sitting at the desk by the front door, for some reason you can't get a hold of somebody, can't get in, you can knock on the window. Make sure you have your name badge, so that way he makes sure you're allowed to come in. And then, like I said, please clean up after yourself. Miami lets us have this place because they know we take good care of it, we take care of things and stuff like that, so that's part of it too. We want to be able to continue to use the facility. So, a few logistical things. I already mentioned the team lead stand-up. We say every 2 hours, but as you know, that changes how things are going and stuff like that. So that's roughly what will be. There'll probably only be one tonight. I'm sure there'll only be one tonight since we're leaving at 11:30. If you need something on your team, we usually maintain a job list of Alan needs a designer, so when there's a designer available, we can shift somebody over to that. So if you need something on your team you don't have, come let us know in the command center. We'll try to make sure we get things shuffled around when possible. If you have to leave for the weekend and you say, I don't need that going on, but call me if you need the specific skill set. Stop in and let us know, because there's times that's happened. There's times we've done phone a friend for people and stuff. Hey, we really need this one particular thing, or someone knows someone that knows this WordPress plugin, and we would call them up and just have them phone a friend and walk through people on the phone and stuff like that. So our objective is to get all the projects done throughout the weekend. So however we do that, working together, that's what we're going to do. Everybody will be on main teams, but we're also going to help each other. So we have several different meals and stuff. If you have any special dietary needs, please let us know. We try to have something vegetarian at every meal, but if there's other things, let us know. We'll do the best we can to accommodate it. So. All right, with that, we'll start with the nonprofit introductions. And the first one is Children's Home of Northern Kentucky. So.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Walker. I'm the Director of Digital First Strategies at Children's Home of Northern Kentucky, also known as CHNK Behavioral Health. We are a nonprofit in Northern Kentucky out of DeVue Park in Covington. If you watch Bengals games, a lot of times they'll show the skyline view. They usually film that in front of our building. So it's a great place to work, at least for the view. Basically what we do is we provide mental health services for children and families all across the Kentucky region. We're expanding to Ohio right now to bring those services there as well. So the majority of our clients are Medicaid recipients, So we deal with a lot of low-income families, and we try to meet people where they are. Our slogan is an easier path to mental health, and that's what we try to provide. So whether that's telehealth services or coming to people's homes, we do a lot of work with schools across the state of Kentucky, and we're growing like crazy. I was just telling the guys here, I've only been there for about 2.5 years, but we've gone from about 100 people to about 150 in the time that we've been there. So we are growing like crazy, and our project here is really going to help continue to fuel that growth. So we're really excited to be here, really excited to meet you guys, and if you're interested in mental health, that is what we do.
All right, so what we are looking for this team is we have a blank SharePoint website already set up, and basically we need to fill it with stuff, and we need some SharePoint people. So if you have any SharePoint experience, both either configuring it or making it look pretty, we've got a color scheme that we haven't really set up yet or anything like that. So maybe a little bit of look and feel, but a lot of setup and configuration and setting up subsites and probably calendars and things like that, all those different kinds of components. Please check us out, the Children's Home Northern Kentucky. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Dads Against Angry Moms. Their team lead is Ken Vaughn.
How's everybody doing? Are you guys good? Yeah. All right, I'm sorry, I'm a little excited, so please forgive me if I'm just a bit over the top. My name is Curtis Shepard. There is a guy, a historical figure named Vernon Johns. Anybody familiar with Vernon Johns and the Civil Rights Movement? Oh, okay, cool. All right, you are? A little bit? Okay, cool. Don't fact check me on this. According to this movie that I saw, Vernon Johns was this preacher, but he was a little outspoken, a little too outspoken for the church that he was at. So the members of the church got together and they decided that they didn't want him to be the pastor of the church anymore because they wanted someone more demure, a little bit more quiet, a little bit more conservative. So they decided to oust him. And they found this really young and incorrigible preacher who was just making his way, and so they decided that they could groom him. And so they brought him in to lead the church, but little did they know that they had brought in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It was said that Vernon Johns was quoted as saying, "If you see a good fight, jump in. If you see a good fight, jump in." So let me jump in. DAM, D-A-A-M, Dads Against Angry Moms. Now that's the name, but our primary purpose is to support moms with more than money. And how do we do that? We do that by encouraging absent dads to be present dads, present dads to be good dads to be great dads. And if you are a so-called great dad, then we need you. We invite you out to share your strength, your hope, and your experience with the rest of us to show us how you do that stuff. We have 2 signature events. My favorite, I'll let Mary, I'm sorry, this is Mary Reed. Give her a hand. Yeah, yeah. Nice shirt. Speaking of which, one of our shirts. We have 2 signature events. My favorite is our Legacy Letters event. And I'll tell you how this got started. We moved, I'm a single dad, 13-year-old daughter. I found a letter that my daughter wrote saying things my dad said. It's like, don't make me come in there again. Don't make me have to use my stern voice. What you know about this music? So I figured if she remembers all of this stuff, what else does she remember? And I'm telling you, I have a passion for dads. Be careful of the seeds you sow into your kids, because they remember, they hear, they listen. So I thought about this, and I'm like, man, this is part of my legacy. Forget reputation, that's when you're young. This is part of my legacy. So I thought we'd do this event called Legacy Letters. So what we do, we invite moms, daughters, sisters, anyone who identifies as her, to come out and share through song, story, or poem the impact that your dad, his presence or lack thereof, has had on you. And this year we had our largest event, and usually more dads cry than the women who are in the audience. It's a wonderful event, and the word that kept going around this year was healing. Healing. There's a particular thing. I'm sorry I'm making this personal. I'll wrap it up. My passion. I didn't have a dad when I was growing up, so I've got a lot of memories that I don't have. Nobody ever freaking taught me how to play catch, throw a football, tie my shoes. It wasn't my dad. It was the women in my life. So I learned how to be a dad based on the experience with the women in my life. When we were nearly homeless and we finally moved into a home, I had the wonderful experience that I can't put words to. And that is, after we cleaned up and I finally put my daughter's room together, one night, as most dads do, we go around the house, we check the doors, we lock the windows, make sure whatever lights are on, and I opened the door and I saw my daughter. I could just see her breathing. You know what I mean? You just, and moms, you know this, you just check, right? That's the feeling that I want dads to have. Dads, it is important to me that dads have that experience. That is why DAM is really important to me. I'll let Mary briefly talk about Plant with Dads.
Our other signature event is Plant with Dads, where we invite dads and their children to come and plant flowers and garden and learn how to do gardening and vegetables. And so we've done that event for 4 years, and every year it keeps getting bigger. We partner with 2 organizations out in Cincinnati, Funky's Garden and the Citrus Tree. So that's our other signature event. So we really want dads to understand that they are really important in their children's life, whether they have girls or whether they have boys. But dads are really important. So that's what we do.
Good job, Mary.
Wish you guys had some passion. Hurricane Curtis over there. Now, Dads Against Angry Moms has a web presence, but it's a Google site. They don't have much online. They want to get the word out. They want people to be able to put testimonials, upload videos, things like that. So we have a WordPress site. It's just completely blank, so it's a blank canvas. So we're going to need some WordPress people, 3 or 4 probably, because we're building it from the ground up. So there's going to be a lot of pages. We're going to need some design help, but designers usually float in and out during the weekend. So if you want to help. Absent dads become present dads, and present dads become good dads, and good dads to become great dads.
Yes!
Then join our team.
Love it.
Good job,
Love
Ken.
it.
All right, next up we have the 4-7, and I got a video for them I'll play while they're coming up.
I didn't wear my shirt.
I guess we have closed caption.
Oh, it's not. It's okay.
You can read it. Oh, hold on, it's not even on that screen. You can't read it, it's not on that screen.
Just that.
I even want to have muted it in that sound, so.
Oh, you were there.
ministry is sometimes directed by the inmates that's in there. They are sometimes the greatest advocates of Jesus. I am a product of people that love Jesus, have my eternal future, right? Which is assured. And I have my physical future that, sometimes I get weary, which is what our Lord has allowed.
We won't cheat you that way, Chris.
And I said, no. I said, actually, Jesus let me in prison. I wasn't seeking him. I wasn't looking for him. But I come to find out that he was looking for me. I'm 52 years old, and I've been incarcerated since I was 19, which is like 33 and a half years. The prison ministry is sometimes directed by the inmates that's in there. They are sometimes the greatest advocates of Jesus. I am a product of people that love Jesus, have my eternal future, right? Which is assured. And I have my physical future that, sometimes I get weary, which is what our Lord has advised us not to do, is become weary in our well-doing, that, we shall reap if we do not faint. But I have hope, and I look forward to seeing, the next chapter of what God has in store for me.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Kim Elliott, and our organization is called the 4-7, and we are just thrilled to be here tonight. Stories matter, and the story that you just heard is awesome in and of itself for us to have the opportunity to work with individuals like Darren. But it's not just Darren's story, but it's the impact that stories like Darren has. This past weekend, we got an opportunity to spend some time at our company picnic with a gentleman who called me about a month ago because he saw Darren's story online. Not only did he see Darren's story online, but he knew Darren. He knew Darren because he'd actually served in prison with Darren. And our organization, the 4-7, is a 10-year-old organization that has generational impact. That young man said, I saw Darren's story on your website. And I called Darren and I said, hey, I just saw you online. Darren was someone who he had spent 10 years of his life with while he was incarcerated as well. And he said that Darren so much changed his life that it has also impacted his son's life. So what we get to do as the 4-7 is work with individuals who have been impacted by incarceration, by family members. We've touched over 6,000 lives this year, and those 6,000 lives that we've touched have families, have caregivers who every day are in our communities, our neighbors, our relatives, and their stories matter. And we get an opportunity to share what we do and allow other people to connect with that. So we're here this weekend to work with this awesome room of designers and creatives so that we can not only build a website, but so that we can have a digital space that helps us to do what we do best, and that's helping to transform the lives of those that are incarcerated and their families. So we're here today with my associates, Jill Harford, and also Jamie Sims, and the wonderful team that chooses to work with us this weekend and make this magic happen.
So we're going to need designers. They have a website, it looks great, they want to revamp it. We've got a site that's working out of Wheatley, kind of, right now, so and we've moved to a new CRM. The CRM has its own WYSIWYG editor. We don't need to code. So if you're looking to do a bunch of coding, this isn't going to be the team. But if you're looking to make stuff look cool, and you want to use your artistic talents, this is the team, and we need you, so.
All right, next up we have Helping Young Mothers Mentor, which their nonprofit representative had a death in the family, so David DeWalla is serving to represent the nonprofit and the project at the same time, explain what's going on there.
Well, I'm not going to be able to give you a good overview of the nonprofit since I have not met them in person yet. But they have a very good story. She seemed very passionate about what they want to do, and one of their biggest things that they really needed was help with volunteer management. They host a lot of events. They post a lot of need for volunteers, but they really just don't have a good way to track those, to get good reports on demographics so that they can continue to expand their existing mission. So what we were going to do this week was set them up with Microsoft's nonprofit, which any nonprofit in here can apply for. It's free. You just go to Microsoft Nonprofit and apply. They give you a lot of good tools to get started and a lot of good groundwork. And one of those tools is a volunteer management platform that comes now out of the box. So if you have any experience with that, anyone in this room, I've taken the Microsoft training and learned pretty much how it works. But I do have a few questions about maybe hooking it up to some third parties to really get those events when they're posted out there so that more and more people can volunteer for these things on some of the event searches around the Cincinnati area. So if anybody has any experience, come see me. We won't be needing any volunteers for actual work on this one here, just mainly just some advice for what I can give them. And I'm just going to send them an email at the end of the weekend, and hopefully that's enough for them to get it started.
Good job.
All right, last but not least is Hope for Change Women Resource Center.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm a little nervous, so just bear with me. So my name is Sophia Bailey, and I am the CEO and founder of Hope for Change Women Resource Center. What we do is we identify women that are oppressed and diverse women. We actually work in 4 different categories for economical pillars. So we actually help women that are jobless. We help women that are homeless. We help women that are going through domestic relations. And then we help the ex-offenders. And so what our program is about is our program, we categorize our program, so I'm going to move backwards. So our ex-offenders, we call that program Back to the Basics. And so it's just what it says, is back to the basics. A woman being released from jail, in order for us to provide services for her, she has to have a release date of 2 months prior to her being released. And so the goal is to go inside of the jails, of course, meet mom, help mom, see what mom needs so we can get mom acclimated back to her family. And so instead of her coming out and she's kind of looking like, I don't know if anybody in the room, we're going to have a transparent moment that has ever been incarcerated, but I have. And so when you come out, you looking like, okay, what do I do next, right? You know, and so the goal is not for mom to come out and have that what do I do next moment. And so we want to go in there, make sure she has her identification when she comes out, all her government documents that she needs, housing that she may need. We have counselors that will be able to help her get acclimated back to her children. And so that's our back to the basics. And then we have our domestic relation. Any woman that is experiencing type of domestic violence, mental abuse, any woman that is freshly coming out, or freshly starting a life as a divorced woman. We're helping those women as well, dealing with any type of child support, just supporting her, wrapping our arms around her, because now she has to now navigate life without the significant other, or navigate life without her children. So those are the women that we help as well. And then our homeless community. Our homeless community, we do have outreach every month. Just this past, what was it, Monday? I think Monday we were able to service, I'm so happy about this, but it's a testimonial moment. We were able to serve 75 families in 44 minutes. 75 families in 44 minutes. We got the food together, and all we did is we popped the trunk, and they came. And that's a blessing, because I don't know if you've ever been homeless. You know, but it's a miracle when you're expecting a meal. You don't know where your next meal is coming from. So when someone
comes up, brings you a meal, you know, that's a blessing in itself because you're wondering where the next meal is going to come from. And so we also will identify women, individual. Of course, we can't help the entire homeless population, but we will identify a woman who has been in a shelter or is homeless, and we are going to work with that individual woman to get her off of the street. All right, and then we have our jobless, and we call that, let me go back. That program is sheltering the unsheltered. And then we have our jobless, that is our career development. And that's a woman who, for the most part, she wants to go back to school, she has a job, or, you know, she wants to go into the military. So that's a little bit about what Hope for Change is. Our job is to provide the services, and the end result is we hope that this woman will change based on the services that we offer. We do offer what is called our contingency plan, and that's anyone. We service anyone, as long as she's 18 and over. If she does not fall within that 4 economical pillars, and our program is anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks, and if she doesn't fall within that, to go through our program, you have to be interviewed, you have to go through that process to get approved to go through our program. However, if you're a single mom, need diapers, or what have you, need furniture, then you'll fall under our contingency plan, and that plan only lasts 30 days. And so, of course, furniture, you name it, we're a resource center, so we will do our best to accommodate you, right? We have been around since 2015. We just changed our name. I'm a divorcee, so if you heard Hope for Change and you heard the 4 economics pillars that we serve, that has been my life. And my dad will always say, out of the bed of your affliction lies the seeds of your ministry. So you find yourself doing the things that you have overcome, right? Because it comes easy. I love being around women. I love servicing women. This is Keita. Say hi, Keita. Hi, Keita. She's a little nervous. She's a little nervous, but Keita is on my advisory board. We have another board of director, and then we just got blessed with one of our administrators. So we're slowly building, even though we've been doing this for a while. We're working now the administrative side. I've just been on the ground, boots on the ground. I've just been doing the work. So now as a nonprofit, I'm seeing now the administrative side of this. So we need board of directors, we need advisory boards, we need treasurer, right? You know, all of the logistics of it. So now we're working the logistics of it. And so we're here tonight because we want to get the word out, especially with our homeless population. We're seeking here tonight to get a website. Just something, I'm not saying it has to be elaborate. However, a website to where, first of all, our name and our face can begin to get out there. Because we've been doing this since 2015, and we just kind of been doing it under the table, if you will. We just been out there serving, right? Now, we taking it to another level, right? Because we want to service women the best that we can, so we're taking it to another level. So we're here tonight just to get a website. Or this weekend, should I say.
Right, so they have nothing right now. So this is going to be a WordPress site, because I did speak with Gregory, the person who will be maintaining the site in the future, and he knows WordPress, so that is what we're going with. Designers, anybody who knows anything about WordPress, because I do not. So this will be a first for me. So that's about what we have.
All right, a couple of logistical things, then we do team selection. So all the rooms are set up on the north end of the building over here. The 2 rooms for the nonprofits are the last 2 rooms. The one on the left is the 3 websites rebuilds, and the one on the right is the, 1.5 other non-website rebuild projects. And then we have on the right, second last door on the right is the command center where the organizer will hang out. So if you have questions or issues, whatever, come in there. A few logistical items here yet, lessons learned from previous Give Camps. So we operate by the Las Vegas rule. This comes from other Give Camps as well. The volunteers here are volunteering for this weekend. They're not committing to be tech support for the nonprofits forever. Some of them choose to do that. That's their choice to do that type of thing. But they're volunteering here, so we say what happens at Give Camp stays at Give Camp. You're volunteering this weekend. The idea is to give you training, give you site and everything else. Most of the people want to make sure they see what they produced over the weekend succeed. So most of the people, someone on their team a lot of times will help make sure it gets set up and implemented. But if something happens a year and a half, 2 years from now, there's no guarantee that someone will help you with it. So I already talked about training. We're just emphasizing again, because we've talked to other Give Camps, and this is the main problem with any Give Camp around the country, is that nonprofits don't get training and don't need to know, or don't know what they're doing. The other thing is, in teams, and most of you team leads have done this already before, so have something deployable early and often. So get a minimum viable product out there and keep iterating on it type of thing, because you never know what's going to happen, and things might happen and we might not be able to keep going the rest of the weekend or something. So as we mentioned before, we're all in this together. We're trying to get 4.5, 5 projects done this weekend. So if you have some downtime, check with the other teams. That's kind of why we grouped the website, people all in the same room. So if there's some downtime on this one, check with the other ones in your room or whatever type of thing. So just try to help each other out. So before we do team selection, we have to plan everything else. We learned over the years everybody wants to sign up the last 2 weeks. It makes us hard to plan things. We do early bird registration. So for those that do early bird registration, we have 3 Amazon $100 gift cards, and Jason Roby will make sure you get those over there. So let me click on the link and we will draw names for that. And I'll move it to the screen so everybody can